This tour is going to be recorded. Um, if you need to drop or if you're tired and you want to watch it later in the night, feel free to do so. This tour is going to be recorded. All righty. Let me start the PowerPoint. Okay. And I'm going to record this tour so that you guys can watch it later. Let me turn off the. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Welcome, friends, to another episode of My Virtual Bible Tour Present. We have an interesting topic to talk about. Many of you are concerned about traveling to Egypt. When you think about traveling to Egypt, a lot of things come to your mind. Can I help with that? Well, I was there with my wife and a group of 26 brothers and sisters. Did we have the time of our lives? Yes, we did. So the question is, or the question that we will answer today is, Egypt, is traveling safe for Americans? Many people hesitate when you ask them, would you travel to Egypt? Should you go? I would like to take this opportunity and I would like to share with you a poll so that you can tell me what you think. Please take a minute to answer the poll. And the first poll, it's about Egypt. So the question for you, friends, if it's showing up on your screen, is if you have the financial means to go to Egypt, would you travel to Egypt? And the two choices are yes or no. If you have a concern or a fear, can you type what the fear could be? I don't know if you are able to provide an answer for that. There you go. There's people answering that. What worries you about going to Egypt? I want to know. And the last question is, if you were to travel to Egypt, how big do you want the group to be? Someone mentioned 4 people. Other people have mentioned 10. We travel with 26. Certain buses can bring up to 52. If you had a choice, what would that be? Please give us an answer. We're planning to go back to Egypt and we want to answer all of your concerns and we want to put together a trip that it is encouraging for everyone. I am waiting for the friends to get to 50%. And I would like to ask Juliana, you have your mic, you have your hand up. What is your question? Or is that an all hand? Okay, it appears to be an all hand. Okay, I'm going to stop the poll and I'm going to share the results so that you guys can see what answers do you give me. There are 112 people on the Zoom call, and 75% say that they will go on a trip. That is fantastic. That is 47 people out of 112. So I guess we have a trip to Egypt. What is the biggest drawback? I'm going to read that later. And I'm also going to read what is the perfect group size. I'm going to read that later, and I'm going to share the results with you, friends. Now, Egypt is one of the most famous Bible lands. If you have the opportunity to go to another Bible land, which country would you like to go first or second? We have Greece, we have Italy, and we have Turkey. So from 1 to 10, tell me if you have the financial means to go to Turkey, to go to Greece, and to go to Italy, give me a rating where 10 is the highest and 1 is the lowest. Because not only do we want to go to Egypt, but we also want to go to Greece. We also want to go to Italy, and we also want to go to Turkey. And I am seeing that people are answering. That is great. Friends, I truly appreciate this. And this is going to help me and my wife to prepare a trip exactly as the brothers and sisters imagine. I have reached 50% of the polls. I don't need to ask everyone, just half of you should be enough. And 47% say that they would like to go to Greece. 39% would like to go to Italy, and 21% would like to go to Turkey. And friends, I truly, truly appreciate this because we cannot travel the entire year, but if we can pick a country and we can travel together, that would be fantastic. And it looked like Greece with 47, Italy with 39, and Turkey with 21. Thank you, friends, for all your support with that. I'm going to tire you out with polls, but people have asked me, Stalin, when are you going to start new tours? So I have prepared a list of tour topics that you can pick from. We have about the Apostle Paul. We have Galilee in the time of Christ. We have the Bible in the British Museum. We have the Bible in the Louvre Museum. When Jesus became God, or maybe you would like to visit another country like Dubai, South Korea, or Japan. I'll be more than happy to prepare a virtual tour about that. And since I live in Florida and the Kennedy Space Center is so close to my house, about 2 hours and 15 minutes, I can do a virtual tour where I will go to the Kennedy Space Center and show you what humans have done to be able to put their feet on the moon or to be able to go out of space. So let me know which tours you are interested during the summer. This is the time that we prepare tours, especially for the winter. So if you can tell me what would you like, then I could prepare those tours and then I can share them with the friends before we actually show them to the actual brotherhood. I see a lot of responses. Thank you for those who are taking the time to do this. After the tour, I'm going to uh, figure out what is your favorite according to the results that are coming in as we speak. There is a tie between a tour about the Apostle Paul and the tour Galilee in the time of Jesus Christ. It's a fascinating tour about the city of Galilee and how Jesus impacted that city. We're going to be sharing with you some archaeological findings. And my wife and I were there in 2023 before the war. So thank you, friends, for giving us your feedback. I'm going to stop it right here and I'm going to share the results so that you guys can see. The Apostle Paul has 29%, Galilee in the time of Christ has 23. Visit another, when Jesus became God, the origins of the Trinity has 16. And visit another country has 10% and is tied with the Kennedy Space Center. That is so cool. Maybe I can do both. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Um, country. I know I have provided some Bible land countries. If um, if you were to tell me if you have the means to travel to a country, what country will that be? And by the way, you can also put your answers on the chat in case Zoom is not working for you. So basically, with all these questions, I just want to prepare tours that the friends are actually interested. In the past, I will do a tour that I was interested, but that usually doesn't work like that. It would be better if I create a tour where people can tell me where they would like to go. So feel free to send me an email with some of the answers to these questions. I am going to share that with you, friends, and I'll be letting you know very soon what was the end result of all of the polls. So, is Egypt worth it? Absolutely 110%. I wish I would have known what I know now about Egypt. There are amazing sites like you never see them before. With proper preparation, you can actually see a lot of the things that will fortify your faith. And the research that you're going to do is going to give you peace of mind because now you know what you should expect of the trip and you're not worried too much about security. That was me before I went to Egypt. But now that I've gone there, I feel that Egypt is the most secure and safe country in the world. I have never felt the way I did in Egypt. And let me tell you, I was with 23 sisters. There was only three brothers, and boy, it was a walk in the park as far as security is concerned. And I'm going to show you why that trip was so successful. Okay, so this is the trip, what I learned from my trip to Egypt. But at the same time, I would love for you, friends, if you share the tour for tomorrow. The tour for tomorrow is the fascinating tour about the Dead Sea Scroll exhibition at the Reagan Library in California. Just to give you an idea, the last time that the Dead Sea Scrolls were in United States, it was in 2015. It's been 10 years since the Dead Sea Scrolls were in the States. They are in the state of California. They're going to be there for a couple of months. And tomorrow, I'm going to show you why, if you live nearby, why you should take a trip to the Reagan Library to see this fantastic exhibition. So I'll see you tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. Texas, and 2 p.m. California time. On Monday, I'm going to have the tour, The 10 Plagues of Egypt, but this time we're going to share with you from the point of view of an Egyptian. What would an Egyptian say if he survived the 10 plagues? What would an Egyptian say if he was one of the mixed company that left Egypt after the 10 plagues? It's a fascinating tour. It's based on a fictional character, but it definitely opens our mind as to why did the Egyptians abandon their gods and start following Jehovah God? Well, Monday is going to be the last tour that I will present in the month of June because starting on June the 2nd, I'll be visiting my family in New York and I'll be visiting Bethel, with a group of 52 friends from all over the world. We're going to start the tour of the Met in New York City on that weekend. And oh, this is the tour tomorrow that we're going to have. But if I were to ask you, friends, if I were to ask you, is there anything that you would like to know about New York? Is there anything that you would like to know about New York? What would that something be? Also, since I'm going to Bethel, what would you like to know more about Bethel? How interested are you on a tour based on the town of Warwick, the town of Wallkill, and the town of Patterson? What is the history? What does public records say about Jehovah's Witnesses in these three places? Please understand the virtual tour is not about the inside of Bethel. We cannot give virtual tours about that, but I can give you a virtual tour about the town where the Bethel facilities are located. So if you're interested in this tours, please let me know. I'm going to be there, and I should be able to get video and to get all the information that you need to make a virtual tour interesting. Okay? All righty. So friends are telling me what they would like to learn more about New York City, and they're also telling me if they would like a virtual tour about Warwick, Wallkill, and Patterson, and how you can go there. Let me know on the chat if you are having any issues with typing. You can type your answers on the chat. You can send me a text or you can send me an email. Friends, then the following week, um, we're going to go to Bethel, and then we're going to go to Washington, D.C. Yes, we're going to go to Washington, D.C. with another group of Jehovah's Witnesses. We're going to start in Washington. We're going to visit Bethel. We're going to go to Niagara Falls, and then we're going to go to Bethel, Canada. It's going to be two fantastic trips with brothers and sisters around the world. I would like to get your input. A poll is being shared on the screen. Which poll is that? Oh, the poll on New York. Okay. Friends, this is the last poll. I promise. This is the last poll. Since we're going to Washington, this is a great opportunity for me to prepare a virtual tour about the Museum of the Bible in Washington, D.C. I will get an opportunity to prepare a virtual tour about Niagara Falls and Tesla. What is the connection of Niagara Falls and Tesla? You can learn that as well. And I can also do a tour about the Canadian Bethel of Jehovah's Witnesses. Let me know how interested you are so that I can spend the time and do this for you, friends. Okay. And as I promise you, uh, there is interest in the Museum of the Bible, the largest museum of Bible artifacts in the United States, followed by Warwick. There is great interest in Niagara Falls, and there's also interest in Bethel, Canada. Okay. So it looks like I have a lot of work to do. Friends, again, all of these tours will be available, recorded in our YouTube channel. And please, the membership is only $4.99, and you can watch all the tours that we will prepare. They will be available here. Thank you very much for the book reviews. Thank you very much for using social media to talk about us. And thank you very much for buying me a coffee and having a membership. What started as a labor of love in the year 2020, my wife and I, we were reassigned from Texas to Florida during the pandemic. There was no work. We started doing virtual tours for free, and Jehovah provided through all that time. So now my hobby has become into my part-time job. Thank you all. The virtual tours will always be free. The only thing we ask is for your support with the streaming of recorded tours on our YouTube channel, and the cost is only $4.99 a month. If you recognize any of those symbols, then you know what you need to do. Or if you want to send a postcard because you're old fashioned, you can send a postcard as well. So, why giving us a review would actually make sense? Every review you give us on the book is listed and pushed by Amazon to other friends. I put in the chat a link for you friends to give us a review. The last time I took this picture is 106. I really don't know what number is it now, but we have 131 Zoom connection. If only 10% of that 131 give us a review, we're gonna match or get to the 120 goal. But why is this book important? Young people do not know how to handle sudden disruptions in their lives. A wildfire, tornadoes, or a flood of rain. They don't know what to do. This book, which I'm giving away for free as a PDF and as an audiobook. If you want to buy it, then you go to Amazon and you buy the physical copy. But if you don't want to buy it, you can get a free copy of the PDF. Put your email on the chat, and I'll be more than happy to send you a PDF and also an audiobook so that you can listen. There are some Bible principles behind this book. Noah prepared for the flood. Not only did he prepare for the food for the animals, but also he prepared his family. Joseph, during the time of famine, stored grain during the 7 years of plenty. And we can imitate the ant. The ant prepare his food during the summer. And that's exactly what we're doing right now. So think about it. These are the states that are prone to earthquakes, tornadoes, hurricanes, and floods. Everybody is affected. This is a current map of the wildfires in Canada. And look how dark brown that means extreme. Let's keep our brothers in Canada in our prayers. And if you know someone that can use this book, I'll be more than happy to send this to you. This is a picture of San Antonio with the flood that they got the other day. And I really don't need to put pictures about tornadoes and all this other stuff that is happening right now. You know it, you've heard of it in the news. So please put your email on the chat. I will send you the book, the PDF, and I will also send you the audiobook. And if you get an opportunity, please give us a review. Well, with that out of the mind, in order for you to make the most out of your Egypt trip, is to actually understand the impact of the media perception in ourselves. If you watch too much news, it is possible that the focus of the news on negative events will affect your enjoyment of your trip to Egypt. But I'm going to tell you right now, the moment you land on Egypt, you're going to see that everything you have heard about Egypt is completely false. All the worrying and I want to cancel, I don't want to go, all of that, you're going to notice that it was not worth it. So please get the fact, talk to people who have traveled there, and I'm pretty sure you're going to have a good time. So, can I get a volunteer to read a myth and what is the reality? Feel free to raise your hand. I open your microphone and you can read the myth and also the reality. I have opened the phone for Dan.
Hello, yes, myth. Egypt is dangerous for Americans. Would you like me to read the subheading?
Yes.
Media headlines often focus on isolated incidents, creating a skewed perception of everyday safety and reality. Egypt welcomes millions of tourists safely each year. Our experience 26 Americans, 10 days, zero safety incidents. We felt welcomed, protected, and genuinely cared for throughout our entire.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And can I get two volunteers, actually three, for three more fears and three more reality check? LaRonda Davis, you're going to read one, and Mariko is going to read the second set, and Ernest is going to read the third set.
Fear, anti-American sentiment, concern about hostility toward Americans due to political attentions.
Mhm.
Okay. Reality, Egyptians separate politics from people. We were treated with curiosity. I'm sorry, it's so small I can't see it.
I'm
Curiosity.
going to help you. I'm going to help you.
Okay. Thank you. Reality, we were treated with curiosity, respect, and genuine friendship. Many Egyptians have family in American or dream of visiting.
Mhm. There was no hatred whatsoever. We were concerned, but they were not. They didn't understand why we were the way we were. So we need to adjust that mentality. Mariko, I think you are next, or maybe it was Ernest. I can't remember now.
I think was I the third one or the second?
The second one.
Second one.
Yes.
Fear, terrorism risk. Media focus on regional conflicts creates perception of immediate danger. Reality. Tourist areas are heavily protected. Egypt's economy depends on tourism. Security around tourist sites is visible, professional, and effective.
Mhm. Everywhere we went, like we do for an international convention, we were escorted. A life was never, ever, ever in danger. Yes, Egypt has borders with Israel, with Jordan, but Cairo was so far from the borders that that did not affect us at all. Last but not least, cultural conflicts, especially with religion. Tonya,
Cultural conflicts says worry about religious or cultural misunderstandings.
reality?
Egypt is experienced with diverse visitors. Egyptians are accustomed to tourists from all backgrounds. Respect is mutual when approached with, I can't really see
With open minds.
with open minds. Yes.
Yes, yes. Friends, Egypt is the most liberal Muslim country in that region. Is it because of tourism? Maybe. Is it because that they're open-minded? Maybe. The thing is that we had a blast. We did not have to cover our knees. We didn't have to cover our shoulders. We didn't have to cover our elbows. Of course, we didn't go to any religious site, but the belief was that you have to do that. And in reality, we didn't have to do none of that. So Egypt is in constant political turmoil. That is false. That happened in 2011. That was many, many, many years ago. Tourists are a major target for crime. That is absolutely false. The whole economy is based on tourism. and everybody gets sick from the food and water. We drank the water from the hotel. We ate the food from the hotel and from the cruise, and we encourage the friends not to eat food from the street or wherever possible. So, what is it that you friends did not see in Egypt? Well, what we did not see was tourist police. They were everywhere, everywhere. And if I don't know if I have anyone here that went with us to Egypt this past May, they could attest that police will get involved if someone was selling us something and we were simply not interested. And Egyptians, they don't know, they don't give up that easy. But the policemen will come and say, hey, leave them alone. The company that we used gave us 24/7 support. So if you were arriving from the States at 1 a.m. in the morning, 2 a.m. in the morning, no worry. Someone will pick you up and will bring you to the hotel. So that was great. Every place we were, there was a security screening. So we were safe wherever we went. I felt very, very safe, and so did the sisters that went with us. And one value that is very, very strong, and you can Google this if you want, you can ask, what is the rate of repeated visitors in Egypt? And the number is outstanding. The number of people that go back to Egypt is proof that the country is safe. So they're genuinely interested in us. They take pride in preserving all of their artifacts and sharing it with people. We could not find, it wasn't hard to find someone who can talk to us about the pyramid or can talk to us about some Egyptian history. They're very patient, right, with us, and they were more than happy to give a helping hand whenever they can. So, why should Americans visit Egypt? First and foremost, they have over 5,000 years of history and is very approachable. Can you believe that the first Bible translation, the Septuagint, was actually done in Egypt in the city of Alexandria by 70 Jews who wanted to translate the Hebrew translation into Greek? I'm telling you, Egypt is a fascinating place to go. In addition to that, you have the pyramid, you have the Valley of the King, you have the Nile River, you got Abu Simbel, and you have two Egyptian museums. Really, really a lot of things to do, one life changing experience. Traveling in groups helps a great deal because we're more. We can get more discount, and the friends can do many activities together. So I highly encourage that you go there with the group. And how about having a brother as a tour guide and when you visit El Cairo? So this is my friend Fadid, and he was so kind to record an interview. I conducted this tour last Saturday, and this is what we talked about. Local tour guide. Well, I have the pleasure of meeting a brother, one of Jehovah's Witness, Fadi. Are you there?
Yeah. Hello,
How are
hello.
you, my friend?
How's it going, Stella? Good.
So far, so good.
Yeah, so
Okay.
far so good.
This is Fadi, our dear friend, our tour guide, who presented us to his wife, Christine. Lovely, lovely couple. Some of the friends are happy to see you here. And Fadid, we have 149 connections, and each connection you can imagine represents a family, not a number, because in some connections there's more than one. Can you give us an insight of what Egypt is really, really like for visitors, since you do this as your part-time job?
Yeah. So let me start with thanking you. Thank you so much for inviting me over. this nice virtual tour. Uh, it's been a pleasure to see friends from different spots in the world. Yeah, and thank you also for uncovering the truth about Egypt. That makes me sad when I see the truth and reality is changed on TV. And from an Egyptian guy, right? My witness is so weak because I live in Egypt. But when it comes from you, it's much more stronger because you came here and you saw everything, and now everything is clear to you. Yeah, yeah. So what can we find in Egypt? Well, let me introduce myself. I'm Fadi. I'm 31 years old, and I've been giving tours for 3 years now. But what kind of tours do I give? Bible tours. Wow. So Egypt is mentioned in the Bible, right? And some places in Egypt you can visit and you can link to the Bible. You want to find out more? You want me to share my screen?
Please.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. So yeah, you can see the screen now, right?
Yep.
Perfect, perfect. So one of the most interesting places that you can visit in Egypt is Saqqara, right? That's the region or the name of the place where we can see the Step Pyramid, right? So I'm not going to mention everything now, but let's think of 5 points or 5 questions connected to Saqqara, right? Okay, let's start with the first point, the historic background about the whole area, right? Okay, so have you ever wondered about the beginning of the pyramids? Like, why did they think of making the pyramids? Why did they think of building the step pyramid? If you open a history book, any history book, right, you will find the date 2700 BCE. So the step pyramid was built 2700 BCE, right? But is this date accurate? No. Even in the schools, they teach our students, and maybe they teach your students in your country, maybe they teach them that the step pyramid was made or was built in 2700 BCE. Right or wrong? The answer lies in the Bible. It sounds like when we go out in the ministry, well, different people in different churches, they say God, right? Who's God? Who's the real God, right? It's Jehovah. So similarly, all the books say Saqqara 2700 BCE. Where is the reality? It's in the Bible. You want to find out more? In the next virtual Bible tour. Let's move on to the next point. Yeah, the accurate date. So you might start to guess that 2700 isn't a real date. It's not, it's inaccurate, right? So how old do you think Saqqara is? You might think it's 1000 years old? No, more? 2000 years old? Would you believe that it's even older than the Great Pyramids of Giza? Have you ever thought that the Step Pyramid or the whole region where the Step Pyramid is the oldest archaeological site on Earth? Wow. Yeah, so when you have the chance to visit Egypt, you would visit the oldest archaeological site, not in Egypt, not in Africa, on Earth. Yeah, so that's an interesting point that I usually start the Bible tour with. Okay. How do we know the accuracy? How do we calculate the accuracy of the date? Through an equation. How do we do it? You're gonna know in the next virtual Bible tour. Right. Next point. Yeah, it's connected to the same point. How do we know? How do we calculate? Well, the picture on the left, if you can see the cursor now, here on the poster, let me zoom in. It says the Southern Tomb. When you have a chance in the future, in the near future, and you come to Egypt, we will check in Saqqara this Southern Tomb, right? So this is how it looks. You're gonna go up the stairs, and from up, you're gonna see it, this hole, right? When we check this out and do the Bible connections, the Bible links, we will find out the date. We will find out the purpose of building the step pyramid, and we will find out Who thought of making it? More points. More points, we're going to find out. Maybe you're not going to come to Egypt in the near future, but you can join the virtual online Bible tour. Yeah, okay. Third point. Which one is older? Whenever we say the pyramids, you always think of the three big pyramids. Khufu, Khafre, Menkaure, the three main pyramids. The biggest one, the medium one, and the smallest one. Have you ever thought that the region of the pyramids of Giza, this region only, this place only has 9 pyramids? Yeah, from a spot, and maybe Stalin, you saw this when you went with the camel, right? You can see 9 different pyramids. It's not only 3. Yeah, you saw this, the 9 pyramids. Yeah,
I did. Yes, I did.
exactly. Which one is older? The Step Pyramid. We said that the Step Pyramid is the oldest archaeological site. But how can we calculate? Through the equation. And we can apply the same equation to the pyramids of Giza to find out. So in the 2 pictures you can see on the screen now, we can think of 2 Bible characters, 2 different Bible characters. You want to find out who are they? In the next online Bible tour. Okay. You can also think of the aim of making the mastaba. What's a mastaba? That is a mastaba. Well, the word mastaba, so sorry, yeah, you can see it now. The word mastaba, it's the Arabic translation of flat table. Stacked layers of stones. When you visit Saqqara, you will see them all over the place. Yeah, you will see that shape, and that is closer. That picture shows the mastaba from a close perspective. So, going back to the point, what's the aim of making the mastaba, right? When they started making them, were they tombs? They were tombs. So the pyramids are tombs, or you're gonna find out. So a place full of mastabas and it has 1 pyramid, which one is the tomb? They usually say, the mainstream says a pyramid is a tomb. You want to find out a pyramid is a tomb or not? You're gonna find out in the near future. Okay. Fine, even the design of the Step Pyramid. So what inspired the strange new shape of the Step Pyramid? Have you considered the point that there's no resemblance between the Step Pyramid and the main pyramids or the greatest pyramids? They look different. So the Step Pyramid is totally different from the other 3. But let's go back to, let's go back to the mastaba, right? This shape. And can you memorize it? Perfect. And go to that shape. Do you feel like there is resemblance between the mastaba and the Step Pyramid? Some can say yes, some might say no. Have you ever thought that the Step Pyramid consists of 6 mastabas together, like each one stacked on top of the other one? Who thought of this? You're gonna find out. Who thought of, why did he think of making the Step Pyramid? You're gonna find out from the design and from the Bible. Okay, another important question, and that's the final one. Why basically build the pyramids? Why did the ancient Egyptians think of basically making the Step Pyramid? Because again, that's the oldest one. And then they thought of making the other pyramids. So the other pyramids look like each other, maybe especially the big one, the medium one, and the small one, Khufu, Khafre, Menkaure. So basically, why did they think of making them? Were they tombs? Maybe they built it for something bigger, maybe something spiritual. Again, the mainstream says a pyramid is a tomb, but maybe the Bible has a different opinion. You want to find out more? Yeah, when you visit the place, well, when we check the southern tomb, we're gonna find out the reason why did they think of making the Step Pyramid, and you will find out if you join us on the next virtual Bible tour.
Wow, that is a teaser, don't you guys think? Oh, thank you, Fadi, for giving us a preview of what's coming next. I want to open the floor for our guests. If you have the opportunity to ask an Egyptian something, what would you ask them? I know during the trip We tried to have this intimate interview, but the restaurant we ended up
Yeah.
going had a fantastic view. It was a rotating restaurant, but it wasn't the best restaurant to ask questions. And Fadid and Christine did their best going to each table and answer the questions. Does anybody have a question for Fadid? Let's go with Karen. And Fadid, you don't need to answer any question that will jeopardize the work of Jehovah's Witnesses in Egypt.
Okay. Okay.
First, Brother Fadi, I want to thank you and Brother Stalin for this exceptional experience. I wanted to ask you, how did you learn the truth in Egypt, or did you learn it somewhere else and come back to Egypt?
I was born in the truth, actually. And the Egyptian culture that is full of traditions that protect us. So even, I'm not talking about Christian people or witnesses. Anyone who's raised in a religion, it is so hard to think of changing this religion. And that doesn't mean that all people who are affiliated to a different religion, they are bad. No, all my neighbors, they serve their God in their own way, but still they have their own traditions. So it's easy here in Egypt. It's easy to, to stick to the religion. It's far away from thinking of being still an atheist. Yeah, an atheist. It's far away. So we're protected by the culture. We're protected by the traditions.
Thank you, Fadid. Thank you. I hope that answered that question. You were born in the truth and you lived all of your life in Egypt.
Yeah.
Let's ask Daniel.
Hello. I come in late, but you're in Egypt now. That blows my mind.
Yeah.
Just that. What time is
It's
it
here 11:37 p.m. my time. So good evening.
Okay, well, thanks. Hope I'm not
An
keeping
hour
you up too
difference.
late. And thank you, Stalin, for doing this. This is wonderful. Brings the Bible to life. I was wondering, King Tut was like a big thing when they discovered it, and that was only was in the past 50 years or something. And there's a lot of gold and all that. Is there any comment you have about that legacy and that particular opulent archaeological find in connection with the more famous pyramids?
So I want to make sure that I got the question correct. You mean a connection between King Tut and the Bible?
Yeah, or with the archaeological, the focus of the tour of Egypt that you had, like, was there a certain site? Did it come up during the conversation and the tour
Yeah.
itself, or what have you?
So talking about King Tut, it can be divided into two places. The first place is his exhibition in the old museum in Cairo. Yeah, his exhibition is out there, right? And you can see all of his golden belongings, starting from his mask to his coffin, most of his belongings. But the rest, you can visit his tomb in the Valley of the Kings. Yeah, maybe nothing, maybe just one point connected between that connects King Tut to the Bible, which is the gold from outside, but rotten bones from inside. This reminds of Jesus' words. You hypocrites, you sound like gold from the outside, but what is you? Like, how are you from the inside? So two places, museum and Valley of the Kings.
Yeah. Fadid, many people, including myself, before we started doing all this research, we used to call him Tutankhamun. But then we've seen that they call it King Tut. What does the word Ankh and Amun represent in the name?
Yeah, okay. So in Arabic, he's Tutankhamun or Tutankhamun. But I heard some friends from the US calling him King Tut. So since then, I started calling him King Tut. Yeah, the Ankh, okay. The Ankh, which is the middle part of his name, it means the key of life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and some back in time.
Which is the Egyptian cross.
Exactly. Yeah, it was powerful, and it referred to being in the afterlife. And some kings had two Ankhs, which means he's gonna be in the afterlife, and he can give life, or he can give other people the afterlife.
Wow.
Amun, to be honest, I forgot, but it has to do with a god. I forgot who's Amun.
Amun Ra.
Yeah,
The biggest,
exactly.
yeah. the biggest god, and I think we went to his temple to see that. All righty, let's go to Jean Lan.
First of all, your English is superb. It's hard to believe that you live in another country without an accent. I really appreciate that. But what I wanted to ask you is your leaders now. Are they still called pharaohs or kings, or what do they call your leaders? Like over here is president.
A president.
It's
Same.
called president?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you. I probably will never get to Egypt, but I
Oh,
see you in the new system.
all right. You can join us on our virtual tour. You can travel
Yeah.
for free there.
Look, you better carry a wheelchair.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you, Jean.
Dreaming.
Jen Woodward, so good to see you again.
I know. I just
You didn't have enough for me
Um,
today.
if you only knew I'm obsessed with your YouTube channel. But anyway, so a return visit of a friend. She is from Cambodia. This is kind of off topic, but on the pyramids, she's from Cambodia, and they have a similar pyramid that looks like the step pyramid called Ko Ker or something. And then she asked the question that why is it that so many of the pyramids from different countries look the same? And I'm just wondering, like, if you ever came across that question, does it go back to Babylon? Or
I love this girl. I love this girl. You should have heard the question she had yesterday.
I'm just a curious cat.
It's a
So-
very good question, Fadi. Fadi, do you know why there are different pyramids around the world? They are not as old as Saqqara, but they are pyramids.
Yeah.
What's the
Should
connection?
I mention some points from the next Bible tour? Should I, Stalin? Should
Oh,
I?
I
I
can be
don't
patient.
know.
I'll be patient. It's okay. If it's in the next, I'll be here.
Well,
All I can say is reduce, reuse, recycle. And please, we'll see you
I
on
got
the next tour.
amazing. Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
well,
Jen.
to be honest, this question, this point, well, if we're gonna divide the Bible tour into, for example, 2 parts or 3 parts, this question belongs to the first part.
Mm.
Because on which we base the idea of making the pyramids. Yeah.
Stay tuned, friends. Stay tuned. This is a cliffhanger. What? By the way, Fadi, you never give a date. Are we talking about next year, next month? When are you planning to?
For sure.
Next
Yeah,
year?
we're nearly June, so next month. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. Denise, your mic is open. Tell us, where are you connecting from so that Fadid can have an idea?
Hello. It's me and my mom. We're from Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston, on the east side of the United States.
Yes. My question is, how's the territory there? How's the ministry when you go out in field service, and how do you, just how field service is, how the groups are conducted about field service, and how's the territory like?
Perfect. So that's thank you for asking. That's let's call it a complex question, like it has many parts. But let me answer in a peaceful, simple way. We are under ban, but we're not under the same ban of Russia, and we don't have the same freedom that you guys have. Right? So we're in between. We go out in service, we serve Jehovah, but some kinds of service we can do. However, we go out in the ministry, shop to shop, door to door. It's easy peasy. Yeah.
So like not cart witnessing?
No, we can't.
Can you talk to I'm pretty sure it's not Denise, because I hear a male voice. Can you talk
No,
to
that's my mom.
That's your mom. The tattoos, the Christian tattoos, and how Christian tattoos allow you to identify who you can talk to?
You're asking me, Stalin?
Yes, I'm asking you. Because you told me, and I want you to retell that story.
Yeah. So in Egypt, okay, let me take off my watch. So here you can see my hand, right? My right hand. Okay. So here in Egypt, Christians tattoo the cross here, right? And in the last decade, in the last 10 years, they can tattoo the cross here on this part of their arm, right? So it's easy to spot, or it's easy to recognize a Christian in the street. That's a point. So they, especially the Orthodox.
Yeah.
And these are the Eastern Christians. The Western Christians, which are who are the Catholics, some can tattoo the cross, some cannot, but all the Orthodox, they tattoo the cross here. So it's easy. I can spot that's a Christian. Let's go and talk to him.
Nice, nice. I just wanted to highlight that because to me that was interesting when you first mentioned it to me. Richard.
Good evening, everyone. I mean, actually, good afternoon, or good evening to you.
No,
Good morning.
it's good evening to Fadi. Good
Yeah,
afternoon.
good evening to me.
And I think we have some friends in Hawaii, which is it's still morning there.
Okay.
Where are you connecting from, Richard?
New York.
Oh, New York, East Coast.
Yes. I got a question. I was actually doing a little bit research on Egypt and actually the name. The name Egypt is, from what I've seen, was a Greek word from the time of Alexander the Great. Well, we know that from our Bible readings, Moses lived way before that. What was the name of Egypt prior to Alexander the Great when he ruled at?
Yeah, okay. So let's divide the question into two parts. Yeah. So because Egypt, in English it's Egypt, in Arabic it's Misr. Each name gives a meaning, right? So Egypt, yeah, the Greek translation actually means or refer to Christians. What does that mean? Here in Egypt, we're two tribes, we're two religions, Muslims and, according to the Greek word of Egypt, we're Egyptians. So Muslims and Egyptians, or Muslims and Christians. So the English word or the Greek word that means Egypt actually means a Christian. That's the first part. The second part, the name in Arabic. Well, the name in Arabic, that's mentioned in the Bible, and it's part of the online Bible tour. But the name of Egypt in Arabic, it comes from one of the Bible characters. Yeah.
One of Noah's great
one of the grandsons of Noah.
Mizraim.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Mizraim.
Richard. That was an excellent question. My goodness, these people, and they keep raising their hand. What time is it? 11:48. Camille, oh, this is one of our frequent travelers, virtual travels. How you doing, Camille?
Hello, I am doing well, and I am very encouraged listening to everything. So I thank you so much. This is a part of the world that I have not gotten to go to personally yet, but I hope to one day. Thank you, Fadi, for staying up late to be with us. I am
my pleasure.
Sending love from New York. I'm in Brooklyn, New York, and I am so excited now. I'm trying to remember what my question was. I think I just was curious about, is it very common in Egypt to find people speaking English?
Oh, I forgot to say that.
Yeah, especially new generations. Yeah,
Yes.
my age, I'm 31 years old. My age, the people who are in the 20s, yeah. To be honest, not everyone speaks English, and some people speak like I will prepare my paper. They speak English this way, right? Some people, they speak awkward English, but most of us, we do speak English.
Yeah, all the Uber drivers that we took,
yeah.
I mean,
Even
don't speak perfect grammar, but we were able to communicate.
Exactly, they can communicate.
Yeah, I say cerveza, beer. We're gonna get a beer. Oh, Sakara. Yeah, let's get a Sakara together.
And what you said about the one other point when you mentioned about the tattoos, for a long time I served in the Indian field. So people from India also have tattoos that indicate their religion. Not everyone, but it helps also. Like with the ministry, you can see what tattoo do they have. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Camille. Thank you. I'm telling you, we do these tours to teach something, but we ended up learning as well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make an exception, and I'm gonna jump two people who are ahead, and I'm gonna call Monique. Monique is a freaking flyer, not only in person, but also one of our dear friends. Monique, where are you connecting from? What are you wearing? No, don't tell me what you're wearing. Tell me, how are you doing, girl?
Doing well. I'm doing well. Hi, Fadi. It's Monica. How are you?
Monica, how's it going?
It's going
Good.
well. Well, and I do have to tell you, Stalin, what I'm wearing. I'm wearing this grandbaby, the one that I had the artist draw while we were in Egypt.
That's why I asked.
Yes, yes.
You gotta say that. I know.
Yeah, and she is listening intently at the presentation. But I wanted to make a comment when someone asked about if they speak English in Egypt, and I had the privilege of being one of the 25 that went on the trip. That was one of the things that surprised me. You feel very comfortable as someone coming from the United States, as far as those who know how to speak English, and all of the signage was either it was Arabic and English or it was in English. So that was another thing that was surprising to me, how much of that I saw in the country.
I want to add another point closely related to your point. Why all the signs are in both Arabic and English? It's Stalin mentioned that in his part. Well, let me elaborate on the point in simple terms. Well, Switzerland, you know the country Switzerland. What would it protect? It would protect by 100% the banks and the gold. What would Japan protect? The most advanced, the most technological factory ever on Earth, right? What would we protect? The most important part that we have, which is 1/3 of the world's monuments, tourism. We would do anything to protect tourism. And that's why Egypt is one of the safest places to visit.
Yeah. And I can say that, friends, without a doubt, I've been in Rome where I was somebody stole something from me. Dominican Republic, the country where I'm from, there's some areas that I would not dare to go to, but I felt very safe. And I was hanging around with four sisters. One of them was my wife during the downtown. We went to the marketplace, a whole group of 26, and nobody came back with an experience that they felt threatened or insecure. That they overpay, that's their fault, because we told them the price includes 90% inflation. Do not pay what they tell you to do. But some people don't know how to the art.
I will help next time.
I'm gonna make another exception. I see another hand. Jojo from Wisconsin. Thank you, Monica. Good to see you. Love you, girl.
Thank you, Monica.
Jojo.
Yes, I wanted to, excuse me. Hi, buddy.
Jojo, how's it going?
All right. Thanks for your help with shopping. It was so much fun. But I also wanted to mention that on that shopping trip, buddy, with you, we also had that police escort with us. So it was really, so just having, that police escort with us, it was just so safe. I mean, even without him, it was safe. But just having him, people can know that you just protected all around.
Yeah. And it's worth noting, friends, that out of the 26, we have a sister. She was the youngest of the group. I'm not gonna tell her age, but she was the youngest. And also we have the oldest of the group, and she was over 70. Let me see if she is here today. Oh no, she's not here, so I'm not gonna mention her name. You guys know who she is, and everybody felt safe. All she did when somebody approached her to sell her something, she would go, La shukram, and when they insist, she would go, and they will back up and leave her alone. Okay, I have to go to the chat. Two people have asked the same question.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. Yeah, we have a question. Yeah.
Stalin, my mic is acting up. Can you please ask the question about Joseph's tomb? Is it home in Goshen? Is the tomb of Joseph in Goshen? And the other question, which is very similar, is there any evidence of where Joseph, oh no, this is a different question. Is there any evidence that Joseph, Mary, and Jesus, as an infant, lived in Egypt while they were hiding from King Herod, who tried to kill him? First question, is there a tomb for Joseph in Goshen?
I've never searched, to be honest.
Okay.
That's gonna be the first point of my next research.
Okay.
Yeah. Dan Petron asked a question.
Yeah, the question is there any evidence of where Jesus, Mary, and Joseph lived in Egypt, where Jehovah says, out of Egypt, I call out my son? Is there any evidence in Egypt that they were there?
I haven't researched that. No, I should. I
Okay.
should.
Okay. And you already answered that one, and Joseph.
But
Okay.
we have another one, Stalin,
Okay.
from Dan Petron. I don't know if you can see this in the chat box or not.
Yes, I just may have go over. Which one is it?
Did this change of dangerous to tourist, have you can see that? I can say the question out loud.
What is the question?
Oh yeah, it's directed to me, actually. Sorry. Did this change of dangerous to tourist have to do with the change of ruler Mubarak? Yeah, that's a good question. You mean dangerous and risky to tourist friendly? Back in time in 2011,
Okay.
we
What
had
caused the change? Okay.
yeah, in the Arab Spring. It was not only in Egypt, in a lot of places, we had a lot of revolutions. Since 2011 till the beginning of COVID, yeah, we went through hard times. But especially in 2011, tourism, it fell. It fell. Yeah. But now, like since let's say 2016, I guess, when the new president, Sisi, when he took over and he became our ruler, everything became safe. We know that Jesus is the best one. But I'm talking about, from our sinful perspective, yeah, it's safe, especially after withdrawing Mubarak.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let me open the mic for someone who's a really good friend of mine, Jim or Polly Morrison from California. Jim, can you open your mic?
Oh, there we go. Yes, I got it. Did you want my camera too?
If you want to be seen.
Well, there's not too many don't know who I am anyway. So, Fadi, nice to meet you.
Thank you. Thank you. Nice to meet you too.
I was out in service, so I have to apologize. My wife and I, we didn't get to hear the program, but we will try and make it next time. Question I want to ask is, sometimes you go to certain countries and I remember we went to a particular country and the branch reminded us not to have any type of extra literature taken with us. Is that type of a restriction there in Egypt too?
I didn't get that. Taking what
Okay,
to eat?
let me translate. We inform our guests to not bring any literature in their luggage to Egypt. So what Jim is saying, does that continue to be the same? When people are traveling to Egypt, do you encourage them not to bring Watchtower Awake magazine into the country?
We don't have to tell them this because we have the smartphones, we have the application. So why do we have to ban something that we basically don't need?
Some people are old school. Some people like to study with the physical Watchtower. They like to read the physical Bible.
Understood.
And I'll give you another example. I don't know if I can put this nicely. We went to a particular country and we were told in order to go to this other country, we would have to make sure we had no type of Muslim literature or stamped by Muslim passport. What do you say about that?
Israel, the Friends.
Yeah, the Friends. So again, I want to understand the question.
He's saying if the same happens to Egypt, does Egypt has a passport restriction if you visit the Friends, if you know what I mean, the Friends?
Yeah, sure, I understand.
Is-
No,
no, it's not a problem. Okay.
no, because before the war, before the Palestinian-Israeli war, um, the Friends would arrange the itinerary of visiting Jerusalem and then Egypt, or vice versa, Egypt and Jerusalem. They belong to the same region,
Okay.
so there's no restriction. However, hello, can you
Yeah, I can
Yes,
hear me?
I'm here. I'm listening very carefully.
And he froze.
Oh, I froze?
No, he froze.
He froze, yeah.
I guess the government got involved.
Well, you
No,
know how
he's back.
Sorry, I'm back. Yeah.
Okay.
Where did I stop? Where did I stop?
He said, "Can you hear me?" And that's the last.
Well, you actually answered the question, so that was good enough. I had
Yeah,
one more,
so
which is although
Jim,
that
Jim,
have already he's
only
already
one-
done it for
One
me.
question per person.
Huh?
It's only one question per person.
Oh, one question per person.
Unless this
Okay.
question belongs to Polly, then she can ask that question.
Well, then I should be able to do it because she's had the stroke. She can't say it.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. So go ahead and ask the question.
but we're getting it. We're working on it, and it's improved a great deal that the brothers have give us a little bit more assignment to do. So no problem. We're working on it. But that's good enough. I'm hoping to be able to get there soon, but I was trying to come from Spain in the crossover.
All
But
right.
we'll get to see you. We'll get to see you.
looking forward.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you very much.
Thank you
And
so
last
much.
but not least, Carrie, who has been waiting patiently. Carrie. Okay, Carrie cannot open her microphone. Oh, there she is.
Okay, I got it. My question is to Brother Fadi. Thank you for joining us. I know that they'll talk about King Tut. All his findings were so tremendous. All the things he had. Were there any other pharaohs that had as much wealth as King Tut did that you know of?
You mean other kings that gained
Other pharaohs that had as much wealth, or maybe more wealth than King Tut did?
It's a tough question to answer, Fadi, because
I know
they
he was
stole
like the bona
everything.
fide
They
pharaoh
stole
as far
everything.
as wealth was concerned.
They
But any other
stole
brothers had
everything
wealth like
from
he
the
did?
other.
You know of Brother Fadi?
Yeah.
They stole everything for all the other pharaohs. They didn't steal Tutankhamun because he was below another grave and they couldn't find it. So that's the only grave that they found, and they think that all that gold was only for him, but it was actually for all of them.
Yeah.
Fadid, thank you for staying this late. It's now 12 o'clock midnight where you are. We thank you, my dear friend.
I have to thank you, and much
Thank
love
you
from
for taking the
Christine,
time.
Jaden, Night.
Let me know when your tour is ready so that we can schedule it. We can do a world premiere, and we can invite as many guests as we can. Please
Sure.
send my regards to Christine and also to Jaden as well. Hope
You too. Say hi to Bielka.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Fadi. Have a great day, my
Bye-bye.
brother.
Bye, brother.
So there you have it. Interview from an actual brother from Egypt. To conclude, friends, we have many good experiences in Egypt, and I'll be more than happy to connect you to some of the passengers if you ask nicely. The summary of this tour today is that beyond fears, Egypt is a safe place to go. 85% of the people who visit the country say that they want to go back. And a lot of people recommend to go to Egypt. And we want to go back to Egypt, and you guys can come with us. I see a question on the chat. Stalin, any evidence of Moses and the Jewish slave? Thank you, Sonny, for that question. We did find walls that were made out of mud and straw bricks, and it's very likely that those were made by a slave. And in the Brooklyn Museum, there is a papyrus that is about 3,500 years old, which contains 95 names of slaves. And out of those 95, 45 have names that appear on the Bible. So, yes, there's plenty of evidence that the Jewish people were in Israel and that at one point they enjoy the support of the Egyptian, but after a certain pharaoh, they lost that privilege. When are you planning your next trip to Egypt? Thank you, Mariko, for bringing that up. To be honest with you, the best time to travel to Egypt is between October and first week of May. So if we were to travel to Egypt, will be the latter part of this year or the beginning of next year. We haven't selected a date, but many of you show interest at the beginning of the tour that you would like to go. How do the Egyptian people view the plagues, as history or myth? I wonder if they learn about them in school. They don't talk about the plagues. They do talk about the Jewish people. They do talk about Joseph, but the plagues, to them, they never existed. Never existed. So, but the proof that the Israelites were there, it's overwhelming. And because they're connected to tourism, they have preserved many of the things that in the past would have denied that the Israelites were there. But now they're more than happy to share it. And when you go to the museum, there is a section just for Joseph. And it's a fascinating part of the trip. Friends, the picture that you're seeing is a picture that we took before we returned to the States. Every hotel we stay was simply fascinating. I cannot think of something that went wrong in our trip other than the perception before we went to the country. As I stated before, the best time to visit Egypt is between October and April because of the pleasant temperatures. December to January is actually the peak tourist season where most people are visiting. And from May to September, this time is for budget travelers because it is so hot. I see Joanne with your hands up. Joanne, I am sending you a request to open your mic. Joanne, can you open the mic? Again, Joanne is having difficulties to open her mic, even though I'm sending a request to open it. Anyway, Egypt is a place full of things to visit, and we highly encourage you to make plans. And if you want to come with us, we'll be more than happy to take you there. Rochelle Turner from Jacksonville, Florida.
Hi, I'm Reginald Turner, her son.
Okay.
I was wondering, did they ever still have that last pyramid near the Fayum region of Egypt? It was known to be called the pyramid in Hatshepsut. I don't know if you ever heard that city in ancient Egypt.
What was the name of the city again?
It was called Kayum, but in Egypt they call it Hatshepsut.
There's pyramid everywhere. Was this one in Cairo or some other place?
Well, it's near Cairo. It's in the Fayum region where the
Okay. If you put it on the chat, I could look it up, and the next time I show the tour, I can the results of my research.
Okay, but I don't have the picture of it on my mom's phone, but I was just wondering if you heard of it.
Yeah.
I can write it.
Yeah. I appreciate it because someone's going to ask me on a future tour.
Oh, okay. We'll write it down. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Friends, this is part one of the tour. On part two, I'm going to go all the things that I have learned from the Egyptians, from the shaving, from the clothing, what they ate, the music that we dance. We're more Egyptians that we tend to recognize. So please look over part two. This was part one of what I learned from Egypt. So look over part two. And on Saturday, please join me. We're going to have an overview of why the Dead Sea Scrolls exhibition at the Reagan Library is something for you and your friends to visit. The last time that the Dead Sea Scrolls visited the United States was 10 years ago. So it is a great opportunity for you to see this beautiful, beautiful artifact full of history. What is the average cost to go to Egypt? By plane? My wife and I, we pay $700, $800 from New York to Egypt, round trip. The trip is about 10 hours long. So it was fairly cheap. And the power of the dollar in Egypt is about 5 Egyptian pound per dollar. And just to give you an idea, a Big Mac costs $2.25. That's how much power the dollar has in Egypt. Well, friends, I hope I can see you tomorrow, Saturday in the afternoon. I have 2 more tours to show you. Tomorrow, the Dead Sea Scroll, and on Sunday, excuse me, I'm going to be doing the 10 plagues from an Egyptian point of view. Then after that, I'm going to visit my family in New York. Then I'm going to be joining a group of brothers and sisters to visit Bethel. And then I'm going to meet another group of brothers and sisters in Washington, D.C. And we're going to repeat the same thing. We're going to go to Bethel, but this group is going to go to Niagara Falls and is going to go to the Canadian branch. Everything that I will be doing, I will have it in our YouTube channel. If you want a copy of the digital book of Grit, please put the email on the chat, and I'll be more than happy to give you that. And also, with your email, I will give you the audiobook. But I beg you, please, please, please take the time and give us a review. It helps a great deal. It helps with the algorithm of the Amazon planet. Please become a YouTube member. It's only $4.99. I am recording an average of 2 tours per week, which you can watch in the pleasure of your home anytime from any device. And it's my new part-time job. So please become a member. That way you can watch all of our recorded tours. Or if you want, if you recognize any of the icons that you see on the screen, feel free to do your thing. In order for you to get a book, please give me your email address, and I'll be more than happy to give you the PDF and also give you the audio file. If you have any questions for us, for me, for my wife, please put it on the chat, and I'll be more than happy to answer it for you. Well, we hope this tour was encouraging, was upbuilding, and I hope you learned a thing or two. Don't be a stranger, and I hope to see you around for another episode of my virtual Bible tour presents. Thank you, friends. I'm going to open your mic so that you can say goodbye. There you go. All mics have been.
Okay, bye-bye. Great tour.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
Stalin.
I really
It was
enjoyed it.
amazing.
I
Thank you
really
so
enjoyed
much.
it. Thank you.
Bye.
Looking forward to the next one.
Yes.
Have a nice day,
Okay.
everybody,
Next
tomorrow.
one.
Good
Night, everyone.
Have a
Good
good
night.
night.
Tomorrow,
Y'all have a
Stalin.
great night.
Take care.
Love
Thank
you
you,
guys.
Brother Stan.
Love you.
You.